I mean, again, we can talk to we can talk to Sean Capri. 'Cause Sean Capri's in chat.
That's me. That's me. I'm in the chat.
That's you. You're Sean Capri.
That's the
By
Xbox Drive.
Sean Capri, you made sure that you're actually recording, right?
In the Audacity?
Yeah.
Of course I'm recording in the Audacity.
I forgot to remind you before we pressed the go live.
I have forgotten in the past.
But either way, because I know people will watch the VOD in the morning. I hope everyone's having a wonderful, wonderful morning.
Wonderful morning. Yes, late night recording here, Ryan Turford. It's 10 o'clock my time. It's tomorrow for you, actually. So
it's true. This is a truly Xbox Drive After Dark, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, maybe the first time.
Well, I think we've done this before, but
maybe.
It's probably the latest we've done the show. But we've done it like fairly late before.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah, 10 o'clock usually it's an extra mile or something, like a review or something.
Usually that or E3. Like any of the I remember us doing an E3 one really, really late.
Yeah, this was necessary.
That's all good. We're gonna get through it. I mean, to be fair, it feels like E3 all over again, Sean, because there's so much E3.
'Twas the night before Toki 3.
I mean, I actually didn't expect that we'd have a ton to talk about this week, other than the two events we had known about going into this week, and then the Nintendo Direct and the PlayStation State of Play just kind of came out of nowhere, and we got a surprising amount of Xbox news out of both of those.
Indeed, yes. I'm not surprised like that. Anyway, I'll save it for the show, Ryan Turford.
We'll save it for the pod.
Should we do the thing?
We may as well just get right into this because it's gonna be a long show anyways.
Oh really?
Yeah. Buckle in, Sean.
Hey everyone, it's me, Sean Capri. I'm glad you're here because you're listening to the most horsepowerful podcast on the internet. It's the Xbox Drive. I'm on a Skype call with my friend Ryan Turford. He's the man on the moose, and on our journey today, the name is Bond, James Bond, or Man on the Moose, whatever you like. So jump on into the Xbox Drive. Bond.
Greater than X.
Ryan Turford, I've got Goldeneye on my mind. There's lots to discuss. I've got my Diet Cola. It's late at night. I've got the tired eyes, the sweaty cheeks, but I'm glad to talk to you, my friend. How are you doing tonight, my friend?
Well, it's a cool, crisp 14 degrees outside, Sean. It's a nice, crisp, fall evening. I'm doing okay, Sean. I'm doing okay.
I'm not even acknowledging it anymore.
As you shouldn't, because Sean, if you ignore it long enough, it'll just go away. I'll just stop.
We learned that from The Simpsons.
That's true.
Don't pay attention to the ads; just ignore them, and they all fall apart.
Although you see that, Sean, but you do know if I don't do the weather report for long enough, we will get someone commenting about it, asking where it went.
That's true.
So I feel like we got to keep doing it, to keep the fans happy. Because
that's true.
We're all about keeping the fans of the Xbox Drive happy.
The fans are happy when I am miserable. Basically, whenever you say the weather, it makes me miserable.
Oh, come on, you don't really need to
not actually miserable. No, there's far worse things to be miserable about. Like when I don't get the right drink. I got a real Diet Cola. It's delicious. I just gotta say, this Diet Coke from McDonald's, and we're not even sponsored. They just follow us on Twitter. It's just the right bubbliness. It's just the right temperature, just the right amount of ice. It's perfect. I'm very grateful for this Diet Coke right now, man. I've had a long day.
We all know the true fact, Sean, that, Coke and Diet Coke are inferior at any other place besides McDonald's version. We know this. It's
totally. Not even worth it.
Some kind of special recipe. That's just how that works. Even Sprite right up there, too.
Lachlan in the chat says Sean's fake misery equals community happiness. Yes, this is science.
That's the equation we've.
It's mathematically correct. Yes, I think so.
And again, this is what happens when you come to Xbox Drive After Dark.
After Dark,
where the show is like 5 minutes in, and we're already off the rails already.
I seriously thought about asking you because I just I drove back from work. We had a big golf tournament today, Ryan Turford, and we raised a bunch of money for the hospital that I work at, and it was an awesome day. Just saw like the best of humanity. So I'm actually quite positive, even though it's a long day. But I'm excited to talk to you. And yeah, I was thinking, what if we did this in the car again? I don't know, but as I've learned in my news to people, I just bought a car, like a new to me but very very used car, and it's very loud. as far like the road noise. It's like the tires. So it's like that could be trouble. We'll have to do some tests on this car.
Like before, your headset was actually usually really good about filtering out your car's noise.
Yeah, I'm wondering.
But if it increases, you're probably right, Sean. Maybe it would be worse, especially too, because in theory we do have the technology to make the live stream happen while you're in the car. We just can't we can't see you, but
right.
we can still hear you. And a lot of the filtering out usually is on the audio post-production side. So people on the live stream would still probably hear the car noise.
We'll do
everyone at home
tests.
would be like, what car noise? I don't hear anything.
It's just I'm not like I had to drive a long way. So I'm actually shocked at how much like highway driving I'm having to do these days. Like I just got this car and I'm always on the highway. So when I'm trying to listen to podcasts, I have to turn them up really, really loud. And that's not very good.
No.
So we'll see. We'll see. So I'm saying just quiet at home.
Just reminding me as well, just like because I've been going back to the office this week, Sean, and my office is currently in the middle of this old server room, and there's a bunch of like servers in there, and there's like this super loud kind of cooling fans going all day, so it's just like. I have
just white noise, deafening white noise.
Deafening white noise all day. So when I'm trying to, listen to, some clips and stuff to sort through at work, it's just like, I have to like turn it up super loud so everyone in the hallway can hear what I'm listening to, because otherwise I can't hear it.
Damn.
Which is just great. But anyway, Sean, this is the Xbox.
What are we talking about?
Xbox
Somebody help us.
Except for right now. So folks at home, if you want to support the show, there's a number of awesome ways to do that. Number one, if you're watching the live stream at Right Meow on youtube.com/carpoolgaming, or if you're watching the video on demand later, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and then ding, 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 ring that bell to be notified whenever we go live, like the middle of the night like this, or, whenever we put up a new video as well. And let us know in the comments below what you think about, James Bond coming back to Xbox or anything else we're talking about tonight, because we're talking about lots of stuff tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Also, if you want to support us on audio feeds, don't forget to subscribe to us on your audio feed of choice. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, don't forget to rate us on those platforms as well. And also, if you want this show a little bit early or the cornucopia of content over on Patreon, head on over to patreon.com/carpoolgaming. Throw a little tip in the old tip jar and out comes content. By the way, that's not an original thought. Matt Swinski
nailed it, dude. The cornucopia of content. It wasn't did you ever watch or read the Hunger Games, Ryan Turford?
I watched Hunger Games Catching Fire and none of the other movies, and I didn't read any of the books.
Which one's that one? Is that the second one?
Yeah. I've only seen the second movie.
Well, it's basically the same as the first one. They just do they do a do-over. Like, yeah, let's go back. No, it's not a good idea. But the middle of it isn't like where they get all the weapons. Isn't it a big cornucopia? Is why I'm bringing up the Hunger Games. I don't know if they
refer to it as a cornucopia.
I think maybe in the books. Maybe in the books it was a cornucopia. Block us in the chat. I'm sure you read
I think it's just like this big like table that just has weapons on it in the movie. If I'm not
either that or Thanksgiving. Isn't Thanksgiving the cornucopia with all the food and everything?
Thanksgiving is definitely the cornucopia.
All right.
And also there's like a cosmic cornucopia magic
cosmic
Sean, that is like 3 XXX.
Do that gesture again, please.
Like so much mana into it to then get mana out of your cornucopia. It's a whole magic together.
All right. Well,
about all that.
I'm a mess tonight, dude. I'm so sorry.
Again, this is what happens when we do Xbox Drive.
It's different. Yeah, it's different.
So patreon.com/carpoolgaming is where you want to go for the cornucopia. Well, Sean, I'm getting us out of this. Let's grab our Aatrox, pop them in. It's time for the playlist. And Sean, it says you played a podcast.
Played a podcast. Man,
what'd you play?
I haven't played much of anything. I actually, what is it, tonight or tomorrow? I guess as people are listening to this, I am going to be playing that Metal Hellslinger game, but I didn't actually get around to too much on Xbox. I've been playing Splatoon 3 and Xenoblade, so I've actually been on my Switch quite a bit. But I do want to draw some attention to a podcast that I got to be on. I got to join previous co-host of the Xbox Drive and current host of the illustrious Xbox Expansion Pass. Luke Lohr invited me onto his podcast, and it was an awesome chat, man. Like we kind of tackled all the currently heavy-hitting news stories, and just doing it with Luke is like, it seemed right. He's a very smart individual and very balanced, I think, in his analysis. So a bit of a different tone of show, I would say, from what you and I do here. But if people want to get a little low to that Xbox Expansion Pass, I definitely would encourage people to go check that out. But yeah, I've been doing I'm back on the podcast circuit, as it seems,
That's
Ryan.
true.
Yeah, I did
Yeah, 'cause
that,
you
and
were also on Nintendo Pals.
indeed,
and all kinds of
4.5 hours with the Nintendo Pals, man.
Good
So
God, that's
it's
a long
like
podcast.
it's a lot of podcasts, including they actually carved out a full hour of it as its own bonus thing. Where
Yeah.
Andros had asked me, so how'd you get into podcasting? I'm like, we've been going at this already for like 2.5 hours. You sure you want to ask that question? So we dove into my origin story, how I got into content creation and started writing and all the We the Nerdy days, and a lot of talk about Bobby Paul's the Nintendo guru. So it was actually kind of nice. I haven't been able to reflect on that for a little while. So yeah, not too many games played, but a lot of other podcasts, and I'm always honored when people ask me to be part of their show. So it's very cool, man.
Nice. That's awesome. Well, as for me, I played some games this week. Number one, I actually played a lot of Switch as well. I played the Harvestella demo, Sean, that farming simulator RPG, and it's really fun. I kind of want to buy that game now. But I also played some Xbox games as well. Of course, I'm back on my horse. I'm playing The Sims 4 all over again. You know,
course.
Because I talked about it on last week's show, because I'm reviewing another game that you'll probably be hearing about before you know it. And The Sims 4, I went on a little bit of a journey this week, Sean, through, different converting my sim to like different mythological creatures. Because before I told you before, my Sims is a master vampire at the top of like the vampire food chain. But I was, I was a little bored of being a vampire.
Wait a
second. I thought there were other.
Wait
I
a
saw
second.
some other options.
I need an illustration of the vampire food chain and your character at the end of it. I need to see what this looks like. Please, someone. I know when we put this out there, everyone, you know what? 100 games to like a good illustration of the vampire food chain with Ryan Turford's. If you need to ask him questions about what this vampire looks like, please reach out. But 100 indie games to the person who draws this in a food chain.
Here's the thing, Sean. Again, I told you I'm on a bit of a journey right now. So, I mean, I have a save game still of me as a vampire, but I'm not a vampire anymore. Because I was like, oh, I can be these other mythological creatures. So, first off, I tried being a mermaid, because you can be a mermaid in The Sims.
What are these sentences you're saying?
You can transform yourself into a mermaid whenever you go in like the pool, or when you go to the beach and you're in the ocean, you can turn into a mermaid and swim around. That was kind of boring, because like you don't get any cool mermaid powers. You have the ability to like hypnotize people like a siren would, but for the most part, you don't have a lot going on. So I decided instead, Sean, to do something new with The Sims that they actually introduced pretty recently. I turned my sim into a werewolf. So there's like a whole bunch of cool werewolf powers that are involved. The only downside, of course, is when the full moon rises, my sim goes on a rampage and transforms into a werewolf and goes around town and murders people. It's fine, though. It's fine. Because, like, I get to live forever, and then, I got these cool werewolf powers and stuff. Oh, man. I'm having a ball with this game.
I'm out of breath, man. I'm actually like, I have like a headache, like a laughing headache. This is amazing.
Yeah. And to Lachlan's point in the chat, I do kind of, want to stream The Sims at some point, because I think this is a thing that people actually need to see in real life. But the other game I've been playing, Sean, which kind of is in the same kind of horror vein as The Sims apparently now, is White Day. I've been playing a game from the ID and Xbox list this week. This game was originally on PC, but it actually came to consoles for the first time this week. And I'd heard a lot about it, but I just don't really play games on PC. So I was like, oh, I'll just wait for it to eventually come to console one day. So
yeah.
This is a very traditional Japanese survival game, but it's similar to something like Outlast or Alien Isolation, where you play as like a student and you don't really have any weapons or anything like that. You're kind of powerless, and you decide to go to the school late at night to go give like the girl he likes, a Valentine's Day gift. Because I don't know if you knew this, Sean, but White Day in Japan is kind of like Valentine's Day, but only men give women gifts on White Day, and then Valentine's Day in Japan, only women give gifts to men. So that's kind of they split Valentine's Day into two holidays in Japan for some reason. I don't know what. So this game's all about White Day. About this.
Wait, who goes first?
The girls go first, because White Day happens. I think,
so they set the bar, and then so they
guys have to match it.
Yeah. Okay. I kind of like that, actually. You don't want to screw that up.
So you sneak into the school late at night to give your crush like their White Day gift. But you find out that the janitors in your school are murdering people, and if they see you, they will murder you. like literally murder you. So you basically have to sneak through the school and not get seen by the janitors, and find your way into all the classrooms, because there's this big mystery to solve, to figure out why the janitors are murdering everyone. And I'm just really enjoying this game too. Like, it's not like the best made game in the world. Like, it's definitely it feels like an A or below quality game. Like a mid-tier
Okay.
game. But at the same time, I'm really enjoying it. I think it's fun, it's spooky, and it's just kind of creepy, going around a school at night, being chased by these janitors. In fact, actually, because this is almost acts like a special edition, they included all of the DLC that they did for the PC version, which gives you a bunch of different costumes that you can dress the janitors up in. So I have them currently dressed up as like Rudolph and Frosty the Snowman, and they're chasing me down with, like, these big candy canes to trying to murder me. It's like the goofiest thing in the world.
You must be stopped. You must be.
Yeah.
We need. God help us. We need games. You guys. What are you talking about?
Again, these are games I'm playing in between a big game that I'm reviewing.
Okay.
Again, you guys will be here, and I can't.
I don't
about
even
yet.
know what you're talking about.
Y'all will be hearing about it before you know it.
I want to ask a question about this. I think you said something that maybe I'm just being pedantic, shallow and pedantic. You said that the janitors are killing these people, and that the task was to find out why. Why wasn't the task to stop them?
Well, because they have weapons and you don't. How are you
You're just gonna solve the mystery, and that's good enough. Like, oh, at least we understand.
I'm not far enough into the game yet. I don't know what happens after that.
Okay. Well, you get away from the janitor. Just stay in the dirty places. Just play where it's all nasty.
I know the objective is to solve the mystery, and I'm assuming when you solve the mystery, you find a way to.
I hope you stop them. I hope you
go
one step further from finding out why.
I mean, at that point, why does it? The other question asked is, why doesn't my character just leave the school and just bring the gift the next day?
Indeed. Well,
whatever, because he's not locked in or anything like that. He makes the choice to stay. So I don't know, man. He's
not gonna lie.
Things you do for love.
I make fun, but I kind of want to check it out.
It's surprisingly fun.
It sounds interesting, man.
A lot, but if you like horror games like Outlast or Alien Isolation, I think you'll actually probably
nice. Very cool.
Anyways, I'm slamming the brakes on this conversation, John.
Please, God.
We're gonna be here all night if we don't get into this now. Time for some breaking news. Now, I kind of grouped up the news in the order that everything kind of happened in this week, Sean, because this week has just been crazy for news.
Yeah.
But we won't necessarily cover everything here. Maybe we will.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
But I wanted to make sure we at least talked about this first story that doesn't have anything to do with any of the big kind of presentation announcements. But it's an important one, for Xbox. Bonnie Ross has officially left 343 to attend to a family medical issue. She originally was going to stay on until this season of Halo finished, but she stated that she had to leave before then. I guess whatever it is became more serious. Bonnie leaves Microsoft after 28 years at the company and 15 years working on the Halo IP, because before she worked on Halo, she was also working on games like Jade Empire for Microsoft and a bunch of other games as well. And she was also the head of 343 for a while. 343's head of production, Pierre Hitz, will be taking over as studio head. So there's been a bit of a shuffle at the top of 343. And I know a lot of people were celebrating this news for some reason, but I'm personally sad to see her go. Like, I'm actually, like, even though, like, don't get me wrong, like, Halo Infinite's not in a good place right now, and even, say what you will about Halo 5, like, she was also there in the good times for Halo, like Halo 3, Halo Reach, Halo ODST, like, she played a key role on all of those games. So it's kind of sad to see her, leave the franchise behind, and especially, too, because it's not like, it sounded like she wanted to retire or anything like that. It just sounded like it was kind of forced out of nowhere. But
yeah,
Sean, what do you think about this news?
Yeah, no, I'm with you, man. I don't like when people celebrate or like, oh, good, like, get rid of her. Like, you're not going to get any of that from here. I would say that every time that I saw Bonnie Ross, she just exuded class and a sense of calm and composure that I really admire. And she didn't, I don't know, she just seemed she had this confidence to her. And, maybe the results will speak otherwise, but I really liked her.
Yeah.
And it does allow maybe for some opportunity for like a shakeup of some sort. And yeah, there's going to be tons of speculation as to what is with this departure and all this other stuff. But you definitely want to just like draw a line in the sand to go like, if we're like celebrating the fact that somebody is like either lost their job or had even if everything is as it seems and there is a family illness, it's like that's awful. It's really terrible. So yeah, just hoping everything is okay on that front.
Absolutely.
But it's just in the middle of Halo being in an absolute garbage fire right now. So you wonder, you can't help but wonder, you can't help but speculate on what is going on there. Jay says, what if Jim Ryan lost his job? I mean, again, I don't know. I don't know that I would really I feel like that's weird. I feel like that's weird to celebrate.
Yeah, say what you will about Jim Ryan. I wouldn't celebrate that because I don't like Jim Ryan. But I can. But at the same time, that's you got to separate that a little bit because likewise too, like 343. Sure, like she's leaving at a point where Halo Infinite's kind of a mess. But who's to say that this fixes Halo? Maybe it makes it worse because she's not.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Like a shakeup like this, like maybe in the medium to longer term, it can kind of come back around. But like this is about as significant, I would say, as it gets. And I think I don't know if this is. Dude, I haven't even looked at the show notes. I have no idea what we're going to talk about. But I feel like there's a lead engineer, somebody who also left. And I don't know if that has anything to do with this, but in my experience in looking at the games industry and even just business in general is when a top executive leaves, the person comes in after that or whatever is replacing that has their own methods and preferences and people like that they tend to work with or the types of people that they like to work with. So I would expect to see like a ripple effect actually throughout. So again, like this isn't like now somebody else can come in and flip a switch and everything is better. Like it's tough, man. This is tough news to hear. So I hope it does maybe lead Halo to better days, but it's tough to balance those two notions out.
Pierre, the person who's taking over for Bonnie, was like one of the key personnel members working on Master Chief Collection during the time when it was getting fixed, and he's like credited as being one of the people that really led that version of the game to being better. So I do hope that leads to better things for Halo Infinite, but it definitely is sad to see Bonnie go, especially because again she's been at not just outside of Halo itself, just being at Microsoft for like over 30 years, working on some of my favorite games. Like,
big time.
It's sad to see her leave, but in happier news, John, today. Discord's voice chat is now available to all Xbox users. I tested it today. It totally works fine.
Nice.
Great. You can now. Sorry, go ahead, John.
No, I have a question. Maybe you were about to answer it. So, very specific to this community as well. Like when we play Saturday Fun Nights on our YouTube channel, we play games with the community. We jump into our Discord chat. It's a voice channel that people jump in. That's generally how we do it. I was wondering if this can do that, or is the voice...
It totally works just fine. I tested it today.
You just jump into a voice channel? I thought it was going to be like just voice calls, which is a little different. Okay.
So what happens is, first of all, if you've already linked your Xbox account with your phone...
I have.
You will need to unlink it with Discord and then link it again in order for it to work. But then once you've relinked it, when you join, let's say, the general chat like we usually do on Halo Saturdays... you just join on your phone, and then there will be an option on the bottom of your screen that says join on your console. You click on that, click on your Xbox, and it transfers it over.
Interesting.
Instantly.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds basic enough. It's definitely like an extra step and not necessarily the same pathway that we're kind of used to. I wonder if this is a half step to where it becomes more integrated, or if this is just what we have to do.
Yeah, I imagine they would probably need some kind of either Discord app, or they'd have to add Discord to the tab or something like that. But I think this is a good first step. And like I said, it took me like 2 seconds to join the general chat from my phone. So it's a pretty easy process. But you're right. Like, again, most people who don't know, for example, to unlink their account and then relink it again might try and join and be like, oh, I don't see the option to join there.
Yeah. Good thing we're smart with technology, or we have a you.
Clearly. So, So I think, I know for me personally, like one of the reasons why I'm usually playing on my Series S in my office rather than playing on my Series X in my bedroom when we do Halo Saturdays is specifically because my computer is in this room.
Yeah.
So and not in that room. But now that I can transfer that call over to my Xbox and be in the general chat that way, I'm going to be using it every time we do group event on the weekend.
And how was it? I don't know if you got to test out like the quality, but like that's the one thing I've noticed when I am on like party chat on Xbox, like the voice, the audio quality is not very good, but Discord is excellent. So I don't know if you noticed, like, are you back to Xbox quality, like, which is weird to say that it's not very good, but
I mean,
don't
it
think
totally
is.
sounded fine
Yeah.
in my headset.
Yeah.
But I've also never really had like a huge problem with Xbox quality. But I could definitely tell it sounded a little bit better than normal, but not like leagues better or whatever.
I can't wait to try it out. Nice.
Yeah, we'll have to give it a try. But now, Sean, it's time to talk about the games. So many games.
Yeah.
We're going to start with the D23 showcase, and I've kind of grouped a lot of these announcements together for a lot of these showcases. So we're going to start off with news I did not expect, because this game was actually delayed until next year, but it actually got brought back to 2022, and that's Marvel's Midnight Suns has been moved backwards to 2022. It will launch on December 2nd on Xbox Series S and X. We got a new trailer for it as well. Showed off a little bit more of the cards action, which of course reconfirms the fact that the card gameplay is still in this game and not taken out, as people kind of rumored a little bit.
That would have been insane, dude. Can you imagine?
Yeah. But either way, like, I don't know about you, but I'm actually pretty excited about this game.
I'm kind of excited.
I love XCOM. I love those games, and I love, tactical role-playing games. And like, it seems like this is going to be a great mashup between that and Marvel. So I'm stoked to play this.
Nice.
But and maybe we need to look at it for fantasy purposes, Sean.
We had it. We got rid of it.
Yeah. Maybe we pick it up later. But
They
anyway,
did it. They played with us. I don't like it.
Yeah. Well, and the worst part, it was actually marked, as 2023. Even
Right.
But other D23 announcements that we got that are Xbox related, because again, they had a bunch of mobile stuff or PC stuff there. One of them was Gargoyles Remastered.
Yes.
It's coming to Xbox platforms in 2023. For folks that don't know, that's a Sega Genesis game that they're doing like a remastered version of it. They showed what the original game looks like at the showcase, but apparently they're going to be doing like a remastered filter on it, so it's going to be similar to what they did with DuckTales Remastered.
Nice.
Before as well, so it's going to have like a new coat of paint, but they're probably going to redo all the music. But Gargoyles is a really fun game based off the Disney TV series.
Great series. Oh, that's like top tier. That's S tier cartoons, man. Nice.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite Disney shows.
Yeah.
And that game is great. So I'm actually excited for more people to get to play it. But then the most exciting game from the show, probably Amy Hennig's new Marvel game, a World War II Captain America and Black Panther crossover game. We have no title for this game. We know that you play as 4 different, characters, because you play as like a person from Wakanda and a World War II soldier, and Captain America and Black Panther. But it's a single player game. It's not multiplayer. They've talked about it in interviews after D23 that it's a single player only game. I'm guessing you're probably going to switch between characters as you play through the story, similar to maybe something like Last of Us Part 2 or something like that, where you switch between people as the story kind of dictates. But we didn't really learn anything about it. We don't even know what it's called or when it's coming out. So I personally, like, even though this concept sounds awesome, I just don't have like a huge level of hype for this at the moment, because we literally know nothing about it. But Sean, I have to ask you, because I saw a lot of people freaking out about this in a good way. People are excited about this game. Are you excited about this?
Yeah, no, I no. I'm trying to figure out why exactly, and I think maybe it's just if you see one of those characters and you love those characters, then you're excited. But like Captain, oddly enough, like Winter Soldier is one of my favorite movies of all time. I just feel like that movie's like damn near perfect. It's probably the number 1 or number 2 best movies in the MCU. And still, I'm like, okay. I am intrigued by Amy Hennig's involvement. I think she's just a masterful storyteller. And that's probably the thing that I'm most excited about. I almost wish that she wasn't attached to Marvel stuff, and I don't know what that is. It might be just a little bit of fatigue in that area, because she's just so original. Like, she just has, like, the Uncharted series, for those who don't know, like, she wrote the Uncharted series, and it's just like, I don't know. Even saying original, it's basically Indiana Jones, I guess.
Yeah.
So, but still, like, there's just I really treasure and honor her approach to storytelling and the work that goes into it. It's incredible. So from that perspective, yes, I'm excited to see what is conjured up here from her mind, and hopefully finally she gets to ship a game. That would be awesome.
Hopefully.
Yeah, but yeah, I think just I'm experiencing a little bit of like little Marvel fatigue, and I kind of feel like a bummer to say something like that.
For sure. And but I mean, like, I'm still craving Marvel games, like I'm not really craving Marvel movies specifically, like MCU stuff. Like, I'm kind of bound out on MCU. Like, after Endgame, I don't really care much about MCU at this point.
Yeah.
But Marvel games, especially done in different styles between this and Marvel Sons, for example, like, they couldn't be more different from each other. So
Yeah.
I love that they're playing with this formula, and I'm hoping, again, I'm just hoping this comes out and it's awesome. So, but again, it sounds like, the way they talked about it in interviews, like, this is probably like 2024 at the earliest.
Yeah,
So,
we love when games are announced super early, and hopefully will come out sometime.
I'm not gonna lie, Sean. Like, during the PlayStation State of Play, there was a game that actually was announced
2024
with 2024 on it, and I laughed out loud.
So did I. Yeah.
Because I was just like, why are you bothering to announce this now? It's just, don't even bother. We actually have more games to talk about in just a second, because the Ubisoft Forward happened over the weekend, Sean. And speaking of 2024 or later games, we're going to talk about some in just a second. So last week, we talked about Assassin's Creed Mirage. We got to see more of it at the Ubisoft showcase as well. That's the Basim solo game that takes place in Baghdad. And it's kind of like a prequel to the modern day Assassin's Creed stuff that's happening, because Basim's a character in the modern day Assassin's Creed storyline in Valhalla and Odyssey. So we get to learn more about him, which is pretty cool. That game's coming out sometime in 2023 on Xbox One and Series X and S. But additionally, we got what we've all been asking for forever, an Assassin's Creed game set in feudal Japan. Codename Red is what it's called. And we're also getting like a witch trial-esque Assassin's Creed game called Codename Hexe. These are both part of Assassin's Creed Infinity, which is that platform we talked about a long time ago. That was a news story where they're like, the future of Assassin's Creed isn't just individual games. It's like a platform that connects to different games. So that's kind of what this is. They talked about Assassin's Creed Infinity is basically the hub that you access these games from. We have no idea how any of that's going to work. Or how, if they're going to be different apps or the same app and it's just updated when a new game comes up. Who knows? But I'm excited for Code Red specifically. But man, it sounds like that game is like 2024 at the earliest. But Sean, what do you think about these?
Give me the future of video games, Ubisoft. Yes, ship an Animus to my house, and I will climb inside and be one with Assassin's Creed, it sounds like, for the rest of time. I'm very intrigued, man, and I'm most encouraged by this notion that many types of Assassin's Creed can exist, and we're not getting a one Kotaku leak at a time. They're just like, here it all is. This is all the stuff that we're working on. And for whatever reason, people seem to just hate Ubisoft right now, and I can't stand that. And I'm excited by this. This is one of the most ambitious things that I've seen in a long time in video games. And for almost that alone, I just want to celebrate it. Show me something cool. Like, yes, it's Assassin's Creed. That's probably the one thing that we've just known Assassin's Creed, and especially for a long while there, it was so annualized. It just became this like another Assassin's Creed. But in recent memory, it's become something quite special, and it seems like they've been really just reinvesting back into this property to take us into the next generation of games. I might be completely blowing this out of proportion, but I've especially loved the last 3 Assassin's Creed games, and yeah, like, people get tired of the same thing over and over again, and this is something that we should be celebrating. It seems different, it seems ambitious, it seems like it's tackling some sort of new technology of some sort, or I don't know, like, it just seems big, and I'm inspired by that notion.
Yeah, and it sounds like, to your point, Sean, Mirage is going to be like a stealth-based game, similar to like the old Assassin's Creed games.
Back to our roots.
Codename Red is being made by the Odyssey team, and it's supposed to be like the sprawling RPG that we expect from them, which is awesome. And then, Hexe is supposed to be something completely different from both of those games, and not an RPG.
Yeah.
So, like, I love the fact that they're taking it, just like the stuff I talked about with Marble just a minute ago, like, I love how they're taking this idea and bringing it in a bunch of different directions and doing different stuff with it. Because then, to your point, Sean, then that way we don't get sick of it. So
totally,
yeah, they can. If they want to give us a new Assassin's Creed game every year, doing it this way, where like one year it's an RPG and the next year it's a stealth game, like, yes, I will do that. Like, don't give us games back to back when they're 100-hour RPGs. Like, I don't think that goes over super well. But
Protect that
I like
Odyssey team at all costs, man. Protect them. Give them whatever they need. Give them berries and chocolate and what I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Apparently, I think that's what happens in my mind when I think of Greece.
Clearly, you're just watching too
I
much
am
Futurama,
losing my
Sean,
mind.
with, like
Oh my-
the robot.
Snooze,
you know,
snooze.
like, grapes.
Death by
Yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking the Amazonian ladies. Death by snooze,
That has
snooze.
nothing to do with berries at all.
I have no idea what I'm talking about, man. Please, God help me.
All right, moving on, Sean. Moving on. We gotta
Berries
move on
and
to
chocolate.
the Nintendo Direct because we got some cool stuff from the Nintendo Direct for
Oh, yeah.
Xbox. First one, it's our lead story, even though it's in the middle of the show that we're talking about it. Goldeneye 007 is officially back. The remastered version will contain improved control options with dual analog support, by the way, this time. Thank the maker on that one. A native 16:9 resolution, 4K support, and a consistent frame rate. The game
12.
will not have any online multiplayer, though, but will have 4-player split-screen multiplayer, and there will also apparently be network play, so you can do LAN play with it as well.
What?
If you've got multiple Xbox
What? I didn't hear
Zelda
that.
Network. So the game itself will be coming, quote unquote, soon, and will be available on Xbox Game Pass, but will also be available to those who already own the digital version of Rare Replay. I guess
That's
it doesn't work with the
bonkers.
physical version because they can't tell whether or not you actually own that game just because you put the disc in. So I think that's why they did it that way.
Can they repackage Rare Replay, you think, with like GoldenEye on the box? Like, is that a thing? I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah. But we'll see. But either way, like Rare Replay, like even if you wanted to just grab it digitally, it's on sale all the time for $5.
So
Or
good.
it's just on Game Pass. So either way, you're covered. And I don't know. I think this is a great move. It's a little bit of a bummer that there's no multiplayer. And there's a lot of speculation out there as to why there's no multiplayer. And a lot of people are insinuating that Nintendo maybe paid for exclusivity or just said, no, you can't release this game on your platform. If you want to have online multiplayer, we'll keep it exclusive to us. But I think it's more along the lines of, well, the Nintendo Switch one only has multiplayer because the Switch Online, platform that it's on just happens to tap into that. But
Yeah.
John, what do you think about this?
Miyamoto
What do you think
said
about Goldeneye coming
no.
back?
What?
What do you think about GoldenEye coming back? Just in general, what do you think?
Okay, so we have talked about this GoldenEye something rumor that was happening for forever, and I think 99% of the internet was correct as far as like what this was going to be. It's like, it's just a ROM. It's some sort of like maybe upscaled at best. And in my head, I'm like, no, it's going to be like a remake and you can choose your Bond and there's going to be all this amazing stuff. And so my expectations were way out of whack. They were really, really high. And even with that said, I'm stoked, man. I got so excited to see this pop up at the Nintendo Direct. And then, like it was a moment later, I think that they tweeted it out and lots of details there on Xbox. I love the notion of like being able to play with twin, like your dual sticks and the 16:9 and the constant frame rate. They say, I just hope it's not 12 frames per second consistently.
Or 5 frames if you fill a room with remote mines, Sean.
Heck yes. I mean, there is something charming. That's kind of like the Mega Man slowdown. There's something nostalgic about that. But
Well, if you want that, you can go play the Nintendo Switch version because apparently all the slowdowns can be
it's
in that
all
version.
there.
So-
And I have both. I have expansion pass with the Nintendo Switch, and I have Game Pass, obviously, and Rare Replay and everything. So I will have access to both. I cannot wait to put them through their paces. I maintain that this is one of the greatest games ever made. I think it's super important for where we are at right now. So and just sprinkle on a bunch of nostalgia on there, and you just have me getting very excited about all of this. I think about when I talk about like the best game ever made, like I think about the level design and the variety in it, and I've talked about the difficulties and how you have different mission objectives and everything like that. I think the variety of weapons I think is special. Like people forget, they think like, oh, you just play a bunch of that like multiplayer. Play the missions, man. Like this is really, really exciting. Again, that level design, it's so immersive. And the music is so special. I'm a huge fan, obviously. So yes, I was expecting something bigger, grander. I hoped for something crazier, but we're getting this, and I'm kind of good with it, to be honest with you.
I'm just glad, I was right about something for once.
You
Sean,
were.
because This is exactly what I said that would be. Like,
You're right.
Again, it's pretty much just the Perfect Dark port that we got on 360,
Right.
but it's GoldenEye instead. But it's in 4K. That's an upgrade over what we got.
And
with Perfect
Chivos, baby.
And of course, achievements, but also again, like the single player for those that haven't played the single player before, because I imagine there's a lot of people out there that haven't. One of the cool things that it did as well that we don't see with modern games is that as you increase the difficulty, it doesn't just make the enemies harder; it also gives you extra objectives that you have to do in each map. And I love the way that they design the levels around each of those different objectives because it's different for every level. Sometimes you have to escort people. Sometimes you have to go grab these like key cards. Like there are all kinds of like really inventive ways they played with the difficulty in that game. So like even though we don't have the online multiplayer for Xbox, like I'm excited. I'm stoked just to play it on Xbox just because the single player's there and just to play that. Like that's good enough for me,
dude. Like when people talk about GoldenEye, we think about the 4-player split screen and coming up with playing that with your friends and having the cardboard box so that you can't like screen cheat or anything like that. So like tons of attention to multiplayer. So a lot of the conversation I think around this game is Xbox not getting online and Nintendo blah blah blah. Single player is the focus. I'm telling you guys, shift your focus a little bit. None of you are playing multiplayer anyways because everybody said they're going to play this game for 4 minutes and then move on. Stick with the game, and the secret is the single player campaign. I'm just saying, man. The single player campaign.
The hilarious thing about this, Sean, is that with Nintendo Switch Online, we'll be able to screen sheet all over again because everyone has access to everyone else's screens when we play GoldenEye.
I can't wait. Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna play on both, and yeah, definitely we'll check out the online on Switch. But that's the obvious thing. That's what everybody's gonna be talking about. The not obvious thing is the single player campaign. So there you go.
Well, let's bring in Taylor, aka TPR.
Oh, Trevor. Hey, Trevor.
Into the conversation because he actually had a specific question about this. He asks, you can only pick one. Xbox gets dedicated GoldenEye servers with an active player base, or Halo Infinite actually gets split screen campaign co-op in addition to its online component. Which do you choose? I'm going to go ahead and just say it, Taylor. I would pick GoldenEye getting on dedicated servers with an active player base because I don't care about split screen co-op anyways. So again, that's just my personal Ryan Turford bias statement here. But Sean, what do you think?
I think this is an interesting question because it kind of tests our mettle here a little bit. Now, I want to say I didn't promise split screen. That was 343 in their broken promise as far as the split screen. So they can sit in that for a little bit because I want my GoldenEye-ness. Like yes, I pick GoldenEye as well, man.
Yeah. And, just in fairness as well, when we talked about the split screen not being there, I mentioned on that episode too that I personally don't care about it not being there either because I just would never use that feature anyways.
Oh, I still think it's important, but yeah.
I don't know. I understand the importance behind it. I just personally don't care. So, of course, had to throw out my bias there.
Sure. All right.
But speaking of biases, because, you can see my RPG Cave t-shirt, it's time to talk about RPGs, Sean. Square Enix have announced that Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion will officially launch on Xbox One and Xbox Series X and S on December 13th. This, of course, is the prequel to Final Fantasy VII, although don't play this game first before playing Final Fantasy VII because it totally spoils like one of the biggest plot points in Final Fantasy VII. So make sure you play that one first before playing Crisis Core. But Crisis Core is an amazing action RPG. I really love that game. It's the story of Zack, and how he was in Soldier and stuff. And I mean, Sean, if we, even though we didn't get Final Fantasy VII Remake on Xbox, at least we got this. At least we got something. They're throwing us a bone here.
It's such like you didn't get what you wanted, but like, sure, have this. This is fine too. Consolation prize. I'm excited though. I'm intrigued by this. You have me wondering. I sit for people who are watching the video or listening to the audio, I guess. I sit in my chair every once in a while when I pretend to be not interested, but I'm interested. It's just for show.
Of course. And again, this is a port of a PSP game. And I really enjoyed the PSP version of this. So
nice.
I'm really excited to see what they do with the remake. And plus, I think the reason they're doing this now is because it's going to tie into Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2. So it's going to be important probably if you want to keep up with that story because it's Nomura. He's doing Nomura things, clearly. But then more RPGs. Bandai Namco have announced Tales of Symphonia is getting a remastered version, and it will be arriving on Xbox One and Series X and S sometime in early 2023. Additionally, Bandai Namco announced a whole bunch of stuff. They announced Tekken 8 also coming to Xbox Series X and S sometime in the future, as well as a brand new IP, Sin Duality, a third-person mech game coming to Xbox Series X and S sometime in 2023. Those two were in the PlayStation Showcase, by the way. I kind of just grouped them all together because it's all Bandai Namco stuff. But number one, Tales of Symphonia, Kevin Ainsworth is on record saying that Tales of Symphonia is his favorite game of all time, which
Wow.
pretty darn good, high praise. Especially
He plays a
'cause we
lot of
know
games.
He plays a lot of games. And Tales of Symphonia is also a game I really love. We actually did an RPG Cave episode, Kevin and I, all about Tales of Symphonia. So if you want to hear more about the game, go over to the RPG Cave feed and go listen to us talk about that. We actually did that pretty recently because we didn't know this remake was coming at all. It wasn't rumored, but we just happened to do an episode together about a month ago about Tales of Symphonia. So it kind of lines up perfectly. But I'm super stoked that that's getting a remake. But does any of this stuff tickle your fancy a little bit, Sean? First of all, did you even see the trailer for Sin Duality? It was in the PlayStation State of Play.
I watched the entire thing. I was watching Matt lose his mind most of the time, and Court wondering what was happening, I think was basically our reactions video. I'm very intrigued. I'm so glad that you are so studious, Ryan, because when I watch the PlayStation thing, and they don't have any obligation to Xbox, of course, but the transparency as far as exclusivity, inadequate is what I would say on that. I'm so glad that we're covering it on this show, because I actually had no clue that those games were coming to Xbox. It seems like this is just what's happening to PlayStation. They don't say exclusive. I'm not saying that they're misleading me, but I'm assuming.
The hilarious thing with Sin Duality specifically, with the trailer during the State of Play, they had that Sony Computer Entertainment Presents in front of the trailer, assuming it would be for PlayStation only. And it again only said PS5.
Yeah,
in the
you're
trailer.
right.
But then if you go to the trailer on YouTube for the game on Bandai Namco's YouTube channel, it says Xbox Series X and S on it.
And I noticed that in
press release too.
welcome to we're gonna do the drive-through through the PlayStation Drive. Welcome to the PlayStation Drive, a podcast within the Xbox Drive. I didn't like that I saw that splash screen ahead of games that weren't first party. I don't like it. And maybe that's kind of what I'm talking about here as far as something being misleading. It just didn't seem right. I feel like that should show up before like Santa Monica or Naughty Dog or something. And it's like, oh, Bandai Namco or whoever the heck. Like that didn't, I don't know. I don't like it. And that's how I feel about it, my friend. But these games look very cool. And I'm actually really glad that they're coming to Xbox. That's awesome.
Yeah, like actually, because we were a little bit like I was definitely a little bit worried. Like Tekken 8, for example, might just be PlayStation exclusive.
It looked awesome, dude.
But yeah, I mean, I don't even like Tekken, but that game looks great.
Seriously, when was the last time? That's such a good call. When was the last time like a fighting game caught your attention like that? It looked really, really good.
I mean, I like fighting games a lot, Sean. That happens a lot.
Oh, okay.
But,
well,
like
maybe I'll ask
for example.
I'll ask
like
the public.
That, like blew me away when the first time I saw it. So, in fact, probably even more than when I saw Tekken 8, believe it or not. But that was just because like that was like the first like next gen fighting game that actually looked like it took advantage of next gen.
Yeah,
like, the fluid of animation in Guilty Gear is not something you can really do on old consoles. So yeah, there you go. So lots of cool stuff in the State of Play to get excited about, and
lots of cool Xbox on that PlayStation show.
Yeah,
nice.
Well, again, 2 of the 8 games that they showed there were coming to Xbox. So there you go. But next up, Koei Tecmo, during the Nintendo Direct, have announced that the Japan-only game Fatal Frame Mask of the Lunar Eclipse will be arriving on Xbox Series X and S in early 2023. Of course, this is a Japanese survival horror game, which is why Sean Capri is sitting down. I've talked about Fatal Frame on the show before. It's the franchise where you play as a person with a camera called the Camera Obscura, and you take pictures of ghosts to seal their souls. It's a really cool survival horror franchise. This one in particular is actually done by Suda51 in Grasshopper Manufacturer, which I know Donnie Reese, who's probably listening.
You have me interested again. I didn't know that. That sounds pretty neat. Okay.
Donnie, for example, was very excited for this announcement too, because like I know how much he loves Suda. So this is the Suda game that we never got here in North America, so it's finally coming here. And again, me as a Fatal Frame fan who's played all these games except for this one, because it never came out here. It's the one that we didn't get. I'm really excited to play this. So look for that early 2023. And again, like we got Fatal Frame made into Blackwater on Xbox last year as well. So maybe this means we get more of this franchise on Xbox. Like I love seeing this franchise come back because it was on PlayStation exclusive or Wii U exclusive for a while. So it left Xbox for a long time, even though it started out on the original Xbox. But Cool to see it back. Well,
Cool
next up,
beans.
here's the announcement to get Sean excited because we're invoking the power of the triangle.
Yes.
Because Triangle Strategy is heading to PC on October 13th. And that's all I got to say about it. It's exciting. Triangle Strategy coming to other platforms again. We normally don't talk about, PC ports, but this one was too big for us not to talk about. And plus, I knew it would make Sean stay a little bit.
Number one
Triangle Strategy fan.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm also very excited, Sean, because, Triangle Strategy uses Times New Roman for its logo. And I love whoever mocked up the Carpool Gaming Times New Roman logo.
Yep, that was me.
Although you left out one part. You forgot the project at the top of it. Project Carpool Gaming.
Oh, yeah. That would have been a good, how it started and how it's going kind of thing. That would have been good.
Yeah.
Okay, delete
Maybe
the tweet.
the revision.
Delete the tweet. We'll go back.
That's the revision we make later. We're like, we've upgraded Carpool Gaming.
Project Carpool Gaming. Everybody, there's two people, both quite old, I should say. Both saw that and thought, why did you make it like Law and Order? I'm like, oh, you guys, pay attention.
Oh my God.
You know who you are. I'm not going to name names, but you know who you are. You thought Law and Order, and I was not impressed.
The best part is I am still so out of touch with Law and Order, Sean, that I didn't even realize that was a Law and Order.
Good.
reference.
That's not a bad thing. That's all right.
God. All right. Next up, well, it's time to talk about The Sims again, Sean, because we talked about The Sims, a whole lot already. But The Sims 4 is actually officially going free to play starting on October 18th permanently. Additionally, those with Xbox Game Pass or EA Play will actually have access to the Get to Work expansion pack, which is about $50 Canadian for that expansion pack.
That's awesome.
Yep, as part of your subscription, and it'll take the place of the game being in the EA Vault. The Get to Work expansion is actually a really good one too, because it unlocks being able to actually have your sim go to your job and then you go to the job with them, and then you can actually do all the stuff at work. Like one of the jobs you can do in it is a police officer.
This game sounds miserable.
Miserably awesome, Sean.
I have a job. I just got back from work. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but it's a fun pretend job where you can chase down criminals and take their fingerprints and collect evidence, or you can be a doctor, Sean. You go to the hospital, you do all kinds of cool stuff.
I'm just jealous. I know, and I hope you guys. I really am joking. I wish I could just spend the time that's required for The Sims, because there is some very strange charm to this game, and they've thought of everything. And it's like anything it's like Persona. Everybody's like, oh, why would I want to do time management and that? And Persona's a great game, and I think that there's something here. I'm just poking fun because it seems easy with The Sims, because I'm jealous.
And actually, this move for The Sims makes perfect sense. I don't know why they didn't do this sooner, because they make all their money from the expansion packs and not people buying the base game. It's kind of like The Division in that way. We're seeing The Division with Heartland coming out being a free-to-play game.
Yeah.
Similar idea with this. So, I mean, I think this is a perfect move for The Sims. Help more people play it, because actually I think it's a really good game.
Get it on Switch.
Like my Animal Crossing. So there you go. Get on Switch. No, never on Switch. It barely runs on Series X, Sean. It never needs to go to Switch.
Okay, Sims 5. They need a new game.
They kind of need a new Sims. But then we'll lose. We'll have to start over. We're gonna lose all our mermaid powers, Sean. We're not going to be able to hypnotize people or turn into werewolves anymore.
We need a dedicated. We can't even have you stream on this channel. We need a dedicated Sims 4 by Ryan Turford YouTube channel.
Oh my God, it'd be so good.
Yeah.
All right, last news story. And to be fair, I only threw this one in here for simplicity's sake, Sean. And plus, Matt Sawinski would yell at me if I didn't include this as a story in here. Sega have announced 3 new games in the Leica Dragon series, which was formerly called the Yakuza series, but they changed the name of it to Leica Dragon now. So we got Leica Dragon Ishin, which is a game that was a Yakuza game released in Japan only. That's finally coming to North America for the first time. It'll launch on February 21st. And then Leica Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name, will launch sometime in 2023. And then Leica Dragon 8, that's just what they're called it, Leica Dragon 8, will launch sometime in 2024. All of the games mentioned are coming to Xbox Series X and S and Xbox One. So, Sean, this confirms we will be getting Xbox One games in 2024.
Awesome. Good.
Yeah.
Just
okay. The little VCR is never going to die. 10 years into its life cycle, it will have new games for it.
The little VCR.
Prominent developers. But yeah, I mean, again, I just wanted to include this in here just because, again, they had a whole bunch of announcements here. But if you're really into Yakuza, I think this is some awesome news. I saw Matt just freaking
Lose
out
his mind. Yeah.
when he saw all this stuff, especially like Ishin on live stream when I saw him react to that, and then again, the other two, he's kind of in his own world right now. So there you go. Well, anyways, let's let our friends into the car with Sean. It is time for the carpool, and we only got one question this week, and we kind of burned through all the news way quicker than I thought we were going to as well. This question comes to us from Kevin Ainsworth, aka the Muffin Mon, who was here earlier saying he was first in the chat. Kevin Ainsworth said, "Hi guys, just wondering, how are we possibly going to have time to play all the games in 2023? I'm overwhelmed how stacked next year is looking." And Sean, I don't know if you've looked at the carpool gaming planning spreadsheet that we keep internally recently. I've already started planning all the games for 2023. I got all the new announcements that are 2023 games listed in there. There's already in just Q1 2023 alone, there's like 20 games. And then to be determined 2023 has about 40 or 50 games in there too. Just games we don't have release dates for. So, Sean, how are we going to play all these games? There's too many. So
the question started like kind of just amping up my anxiety a little bit, because I actually thought that the question was about 2022, which is already nuts. Like we've hit it. We talked about it on the Nintendo Drive this week. Yeah, we're here. 2023 is bonkers. January, I just want to and stop me if I'm rambling here a little bit, but January, and we're going cross-platform here. Fire Emblem Engage, January 20th. I'm day one on that sucker. 3 days later, another game I'm day one on. Dead Space Remake, January 23rd. I'm stoked. Forspoken, I'm claiming it on PC and PS5. I'm the number one fan of that game. I think it actually looks pretty decent. That's how the number one fan speaks about that game. It looks decent.
I had it in fantasy because I was actually expecting it to score well.
Yeah, I think it looks cool, man. Deliver Us Mars. I love space. That game looks cool. Is in February. Dead Island 2. I got to give it a chance. Hogwarts Legacy, February 10th. What am I missing here? Octopath Traveler, February 24th. Destiny 2 Lightfall, February 28th. It's too much, Ryan.
Yeah, and then Resident Evil's the next month, and then Starfield and Forza are gonna fit somewhere in there because they're supposed to come out in the first like the quarter of the year as well. Redfall is gonna fit in there somewhere too, probably.
Forza Motorsport, give it to me now. I am so excited for Forza Motorsport. And you guys, just as everybody's been saying, 2023 is when Xbox gets good. So how are we gonna handle that?
Clearly, and then you even forgot the most important game of all, Sean. Theatrhythm Final Fantasy Final Bar
How
Line.
could I forget?
The game I'm probably most stoked about out of all these games, especially because it's got 500 Final Fantasy songs in it, plus like songs from Chrono Trigger and Xenogears and Chrono Cross and all kinds of crazy Square Enix games. Oh my God, John.
Dude, even Homeworld 3. Shout out to Home. Is there anybody out there who is... Do you even know what that is? Ryan, do you know what I'm talking about when I say Homeworld 3?
I played Homeworld 2 a lot.
Yes.
I really like that game. But it's been so long since we've had one of those games that I don't know where my excitement level is. But the problem is I just don't really play games on PC anymore.
Right.
So I
feel like it was like the world's first true three-dimensional real-time strategy game. For those people who don't know, it's like a real-time strategy game on PC from way back in the day, but it's out in space, and I love space, so that is, you could just and back then it had such cool graphics. It always looked really cool to me. I'm very excited about that kind of nerdiness.
Well, again, that was the humble beginnings of Relic Entertainment before they went on to do, Company of Heroes and a whole bunch of other crazy games after that. So they did a bunch of other very popular games after Homeworld as well. But Sean's just confused. He's like, I don't even know what's going on anymore.
No, I'm talking to Jace through sign language, my own version of sign language with the chat. God. I'm trying not to be disruptive to the audio listeners, but of course, you called me out.
But either way, Sean, after 4 days, we got so many more games.
Actually
to look
panicked,
to,
man.
And I'm excited. And then the best part is, Xbox has a showcase in about 4 hours from the time we're
Let's stay up
with more games from Japan. So it's just it just never ends, Sean. But
do you want to talk about the rest? Can we talk about September? Is there any other games in September that you're looking forward to? There's a game you're reviewing, but we can't talk about it.
There's multiple games. I can't say the game I'm reviewing, but I can talk about the games in September I'm excited about. Number one, Geophode Chronicle is actually coming out on Tuesday.
That's number one?
No, hold on. I'm getting to it. There's a
Okay.
bunch. Again, there's a bunch. So
I'm just busting chops.
yeah. Well, that game I'm actually really looking forward to. The demo for Deofold was awesome.
Oh, yeah?
Especially if you like real time strategy games, mix that with RPG elements, and you'll have a blast with this game. It's great. But then we've also got The Legend of Heroes Trails from Zero. That's a Japanese only game finally coming to North America in the Legend of Heroes series. And then Valkyrie Elysium on September 29th. That's probably the one I'm looking forward to the most, is Valkyrie Elysium. That, of course, is the new Valkyrie profile game. The demo is up tomorrow, too. So I'm excited to check that out. And then Taiko no Tatsujin Rhythm Festival. It's a drum game. It's a drum game with a whole bunch of music, and it's going to have a season pass also with like 500 songs. And I can't wait for those games, too. And also Return to Monkey Island.
Yes,
coming out this
thank
week,
you.
too. I'm excited for that, too. Lots of good stuff.
So as confused as I am with your gaming taste, I am still grateful the fact that we don't play the same games. It really is. It's nice. I think it's interesting. I really like it, but it sounds like, what are those words you're saying there, Ryan Turford? What are you talking about?
Believe it or not, out of all the people on the crew, I have the most similar game taste to Matt. Of anyone
Definitely.
on the crew, I think,
Yeah,
because,
for sure.
He's actually into pretty much every game I just talked about too.
That's why we had to split you guys up.
Clearly, well, except for Taiko Tatsujin, I don't think him and I have ever talked about that game because it's on Switch and not on PlayStation or not.
Jace is in the chat. He's with you with most of those games, I think, as well. Or at least some. He'll surely correct me.
Yeah.
Ryan, you suck at parking. I'm stoked for you suck at parking. Coming to Game Pass, I think like today. Metal Hellslinger, I want to play. Return to Monkey Island on September 17th. I think I've traveled 3 days into the future and I've named as many games. Let me see here. I'm intrigued by Shovel Knight Dig. Grounded, I'm very excited for because I actually think that's really cool.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go back and play that again now. That the game's out.
That's just
Yeah,
September.
it's been a long time. Yeah.
And I'm not even done Xenoblade, and how am I going to do this?
Yeah, but October is the month where it like really gets crazy. And
Right,
it's not
I
even,
haven't talked about
it's not even
October.
the beginning of October. It's like the end of October because all of them are coming out between the 20th and 28th, basically.
My God.
Mario Rabbids, Scorn, Persona 5, Gotham Knights, New Tales from the Borderlands, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Star Ocean: The Divine Force, and Bayonetta 3, all between 8 days from each other. So please be excited.
I think I saw previews for Bayonetta, and apparently it's like one of the best action games ever.
Dude, the 8-minute trailer they posted after the direct for Bayonetta looks amazing. I can't.
I'm so wrong about this game.
I told you it'd be 90 plus.
Damn it!
You didn't believe me.
Okay, well we'll see. But yeah, probably
to
gonna be
warn
wrong
you.
on this one.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can be wrong sometimes.
But again, I will admit, I will be the first to admit though, the first trailer we saw from Bayonetta looked terrible.
It looked bad.
It's
Yes.
had like a huge turnaround from what they showed at the first, kind of like Sonic Frontiers was like that too. Because remember that first like gameplay section?
Oh,
we saw
yeah.
from Sonic
Isn't that
Frontiers,
October?
We're like, that's okay. It's okay. That's in November. It's November 7th. The day
Dude,
before God of
Scorn
War.
is October 21st. Oh my gosh. Call of Duty. Call of Duty.
Call of Duty. But then
Mario
the best part is,
Rabbids.
if you want to line Call of Duty up better with Mario plus Rabbids, all you got to do is pre-order it, and then you get the campaign 7 days early. So instead of playing it 8 days after Mario plus Rabbids, you play it the day after.
I might do
Mario
that,
plus Rabbids
actually.
comes out.
I might do that. Yep. I'm all in on this Call of Duty.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be too busy playing Mario plus Rabbids to want to play Call of Duty the day of. I'm sorry, Sean. I'm just gonna.
Oh, I want
take-
both as well. I'm not applying any rational thought to this at all, Ryan. You're right. If I were to just plot this out on a timeline, impossible.
Well, I'm also that guy who's like, man, I probably shouldn't do it, but I kind of want to play Persona 5 Royal when it comes out again and get all those achievements.
Oh,
again.
I forgot about that. Oh my gosh.
It's fine. It's only 140 hours to get all of the achievements, John. You can do it. It's fine.
PGA Tour 2K23. Oh my goodness gracious. A Plague Tale. Like this is absolute. It's Armageddon.
That's it. Yeah, that like 10-day stretch between when Plague Tale comes out and Bayonetta 3. Like, get out of here.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
shit.
I don't want to miss a thing, Ryan.
Yeah, just like Aerosmith. You don't want to miss a thing either.
Yeah,
And then November
Armageddon.
is not much easier either. You know, we got Humankind, Harvestella, Skull Bones, Sonic
Harvestella. Oh, I gotta
Frontiers.
get that demo.
That demo is good. I played it.
Is it really?
Yeah, I actually liked it a lot. But and I don't even like farming games, but I like that game. But then we also got God of War next month, Tactics
Just
Ogre,
full on 2022
Pentiment,
preview here.
Pokemon,
Pentiment, yes. Oh my god. It's impossible. It's
and then
impossible.
It's hilarious too because like we were like, oh well, December will be the month we take a break, but then December's got River City Girls 2,
Yep.
Callisto
Midnight.
Protocol, Marvel's Midnight Suns,
Yep.
Dragon Quest Treasures, Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion,
Oh my gosh.
and
Dragon
High
Quest
on
Treasures.
Life, all in December. So just ridiculous.
Oh, that is crazy. Dragon Quest Treasures for me is like I'm on the lookout for that one. I'm very excited to try that. I hope they do a cool demo for it. I can't believe it's exclusive to Swanch. What?
It is exclusive to Swanch.
Oh, wow.
That's how they did that one. Whereas, of course, between Crisis Core and Marvel's Midnight Suns and Callisto Protocol and River City Girls 2, I'm like, I don't know where all my
It's
time
too many.
is gonna go for these games. There's too many games at once.
Well, cancel Christmas. We're playing video games. Tell my family.
Yeah. It's over, Sean.
Better luck next
year. And to be fair, like River City Girls, that's the Japanese release date. Because we know that already. We don't know the North American one, which will actually be sooner than that. So who knows when it comes out?
I cannot
Maybe
wait,
it actually
Ryan.
comes out October 21st as well. But anyways, Sean, we should probably let the good people sleep. We got to get out of here. But before we go, Sean, plugs go.
I'm glad we kind of just slipped into a bit of a preview for the rest of the year, and I'm very excited. I'm freaking out about all the games, but what a time to be alive. You can find me on Twitter at Sean Capri, Sean like Connor, Capri like the pants. Buy our merch. We have the best merch on the planet. CPG merch, but you put the bit.ly before that, and you put a slash in the middle.
CPG merch.
Yeah, the links are in the show notes. Please support us on Patreon so that I can get a good pillow, I guess. How about and go to sleep?
And only so Sean can get a good pillow.
I just need some sleep.
You go buy a body pillow, Sean, with like one of those anime girls on it? Is that what you're going to do?
No, Garrus. I'll get a Garrus body pillow.
Oh, excellent. That's
yeah,
even better.
Yeah, just freak my wife and kids out. Daddy, who are you sleeping with?
Good.
One
God.
day I will tell you about the majesty of Garrus.
What is this show we're on right now? As for me, you can find me on Twitter at Ryan Turford, where I actually tweet things nowadays. You can also find us on Twitter at Carpool Gaming, on YouTube at youtube.com/Carpool Gaming, and on podcast services around the globe. So for Sean Capri, I'm Ryan Turford. This has been episode 257 of the Xbox Drive, and we out. Bye.
I can't believe we've actually recorded 257 episodes of this podcast, and we've had a couple other people guessing recently, and they're probably like, why don't they just kick this Sean guy off the show and bring these other people on? Get my Bob!